Once upon a time, there was a wealthy businessman who had everything a man could desire: luxury cars, a mansion, a successful empire, and countless employees who respected him. But behind all the glitz and glamour of his world, there was a void that nothing could fill: his little daughter. She was the center of his universe, his reason to smile, and the one person he cherished more than anything. Yet, she was also the reason he lived in constant worry, because no maid, caretaker, or nanny ever lasted long with her. The girl was fragile, not just physically but emotionally. Ever since her mother passed away when she was very young, she carried a wound in her heart that no wealth could heal. She grew up yearning for affection, yet she pushed everyone away. Every maid who entered the grand mansion came with good intentions, but within days or weeks, they would leave, sometimes in tears, sometimes in frustration. The little girl's moods, silence, and unpredictable behavior made it nearly impossible for anyone to connect with her. The millionaire tried everything. He hired the best professionals, teachers, psychologists, and highly paid nannies. But none could win the heart of the child. Each time someone left, the girl grew colder, and the father's despair deepened. Though he was a man known for solving impossible problems in the business world, this was one problem he could not conquer with money or influence. He only wanted his daughter to smile again, to feel safe, and to experience love. One day, a new maid arrived. Unlike the others, she wasn't dressed in expensive clothes or carrying glowing recommendations. She came humbly, with a quiet smile and eyes that reflected kindness. The staff of the mansion whispered among themselves that she wouldn't last a week. After all, no one did. But the millionaire, out of sheer desperation, decided to give her a chance. The first time the maid met the little girl, the child looked at her with suspicion. She sat in the corner of her room, hugging her favorite doll tightly, unwilling to speak. Many before had tried to force conversations, games, or lessons, but this maid did something different. She sat down quietly on the floor, a few feet away, and began softly humming a tune. She didn't pressure the girl, didn't push her to respond. She simply stayed near, creating a calm presence. For the first time, the girl didn't scream or demand that the maid leave. Days passed, and the maid remained patient. Instead of commanding the child to eat, she placed a plate gently beside her and waited. Instead of insisting on conversation, she told little stories to the air, as though talking to herself, knowing the child was listening. Slowly, the girl's icy walls began to thaw. She started watching the maid with curious eyes. She even whispered a few words one evening, asking her to sing the song again. The millionaire noticed the change. For the first time in years, his daughter wasn't completely withdrawn. She still struggled, but there was a spark, a tiny light that hadn't been there before. He dared not hope too much, but he watched with cautious optimism. The breakthrough came one rainy afternoon. The little girl had a nightmare and woke up crying. Usually, she would lock herself away, refusing to let anyone near. But this time, she ran straight into the maid's arms. She clung to her tightly, sobbing, and whispered, "Don't leave me." Those words shattered the walls of the mansion and brought tears to the eyes of everyone who heard them. The millionaire, who had silently stood by the doorway, broke down for the first time in years. The maid didn't just do her job, she gave the child what she had been missing all along: genuine love. She didn't see her as a task, a paycheck, or a responsibility. She saw her as a little girl who needed warmth, patience, and understanding. That bond became unbreakable. As weeks turned into months, the child transformed. She began laughing, playing, and even painting again. The mansion, once filled with silence, echoed with giggles and joy. The millionaire, who had thought he would never hear his daughter's laughter again, now found himself cherishing every sound. It wasn't just the daughter who changed, the father did too. Watching the maid's selfless dedication made him realize something important: love cannot be bought, commanded, or forced. It is earned through patience, kindness, and sincerity. He saw in her what he had lost long ago: compassion in its purest form. Rumors spread among the staff and even the townsfolk about how the impossible girl had finally opened her heart. People asked the millionaire how he managed it, expecting some extraordinary answer. But he only smiled and said, "It wasn't me. It was someone who showed my daughter what love truly is." The maid became more than an employee, she became family. The little girl introduced her to everyone as the one who makes me smile. And in truth, she had done something greater than any wealth or empire could achieve: she healed a broken soul. This story carries a powerful reminder. Sometimes, the greatest miracles in life don't come from wealth, status, or power. They come from the simplest acts of kindness, from the courage to be patient when others walk away, and from the ability to love without expecting anything in return. For the millionaire and his daughter, the maid's arrival was nothing short of a blessing. And for anyone who hears this story, it is proof that love, even when it seems impossible, can transform lives. The mansion that once stood as a symbol of loneliness became a home filled with warmth. And the little girl who once lived in shadows finally found light, because someone chose to stay when everyone else had left. The impossible became possible, all because of love.